Thank you very much, and good morning to everybody. On the BELA, I think that the real winner are the thousands of South Africans who made submissions. You know, SGBs from across the country, political parties, trade unions, citizens groups, communities. That led to Parliament passing, both the National Assembly as well as the NCOP, passing BELA in its current form. And this is why, despite the 3 months delay, the President has proclaimed the BELA in its entirety. So I think that it's a win for all South Africans, and that's certainly the approach of the ANC. I'm sure other parties will try and spin it, but it's our view that it's a win for all South Africans. The question about norms and standards and what it means for Afrikaans schools. If one look at the issue about mother tongue education, and it's something that's been going on for quite a while, since the 5th administration, the Department of Basic Education has begun to look at how do you extend mother tongue education beyond grade 3, which we have at the moment. This year, the introduction of science and some of the mathematics into grade 4. If you look at most other countries across the world, when they have mother tongue education, they tend to have it up till grade 8, grade 10, even up to grade 12. Because it's much better for children in terms of cognitive development to learn in their mother tongue and then learn a second or third language in their mother tongue. So, for example, if I take my example, I went to Afrikaans school because that's my mother tongue. I did Afrikaans up till matric. I went to UWC. We then had to switch to do in English, but I was able to cope because my cognitive development was in my mother tongue. So the question about the introduction of mother tongue is a really critical part of improving the quality of education, and I think that we agree that the Department of Basic Education, in terms of phasing in mother tongue education in all South African languages up to grade 12 is in the right direction. Now, whether it will mean the disappearance of Afrikaans as a language of instruction, one of the things that have happened during this 3 months is that the Pan-South African Language Board met with the Afrikaner organizations, with political parties and other interested stakeholders. And they were at pains to stress that their responsibility is, according to the Constitution, firstly, to make sure that all, and we now have 12 official languages, as well as the Khoi and San languages, are protected. So Afrikaans shouldn't single itself out from other official languages because it's treated the same. In addition to that, the Pan-South also has the responsibility to look at languages that have been disadvantaged. And this is African indigenous languages have been disadvantaged because of apartheid. If you look at the Union of South Africa in 1910, the Union of South Africa recognized 2 official languages. It recognized Dutch and later Afrikaans and English, which means that for that entire period, these 2 languages were advantaged. And this is why it's important that we have to look at how do we push the development of our indigenous African languages, including the Khoi and San languages. Afrikaans is not going to disappear. It's one of the official languages. It's spoken by a broader community than just the Afrikaner community. And for them to isolate themselves, we think that is a problem, rather than to see themselves as part of that community of 12 South African languages. The final question with regards to BELA is about the norms of standards. Now, the development of norms and standards are normal because the law can't cover all of the details, and therefore it's a way of looking at how do you implement. we hear what the leader of the DA said, and the emphasis on the DA minister. But we also want to use this opportunity to remind them that the statement of intent talks about a commitment to the rule of law. Now, part of the commitment of the rule of law is that if I'm a minister, whether you're from the ANC, the PAC, or Rise Mzansi, you have to implement what is the law of the Republic. That's simply what it means. And this goes for all of the ministers in the Government of National Unity. And even if it wasn't on the statement of intent, you can't decide what you implement and what you don't implement. So we're certainly not worried that there will be delays. We think that the minister will do the right thing, because that's what a commitment towards the rule of law means. Just to correct the issue, I mean, most of the Afrikaans schools have children from other communities already in their schools. What the BELA does and the provisions in BELA is to basically say that you can't discriminate against learners from other language groups because you are a single medium instruction school. So the norms and standards will then have to address the issues about how does what is the procedure that the head of department will follow if they find out that indeed there is a discrimination happen, and whether that is in Gauteng or in KZN or in Western Cape, the law applies the same across the country. You can't have a different rules or norms and standards for one part of the country and for the other part. And we will certainly request both the ANC study group on basic education. We will do that as a subcommittee of the NEC on education to make sure that those norms and standards are finalized as soon as possible and to push for that, but also look at, as the schools open at the beginning of next year, to be able to make sure that we don't have the discrimination. Because the reason why you have this provision in BELA is because over the last 30 years we've had numerous occasions where students were excluded from attending schools on the basis of language or other policies. And the courts have said to the department and to government, can you please make sure that the powers of SGBs as well as the powers of the department are clear? And this is what the BELA Act does. So we all look forward to the full implementation of BELA, because it has many clauses, the access to compulsory grade R, the diversity in terms of religion, in terms of dress, and all of those issues that we need to take forward. And we certainly look forward to making sure that quality education becomes a reality for everybody. Thank you very much.